Before sunrise, Splendid Station glows beneath a velvet sky. On the tracks, the PC Express, number 1,212 weights in polished black and gold, breathing crimson, white, and charcoal steam into the morning air. Travelers gather, conductors tip their caps, the whistle rises. Now boarding the SWAC Express for the grand tour of HBCU excellence. Thank you for joining the SWAC Express. Next stop, home. Students, alumni, and fans gather beneath fireworks in every university color. SWAC Express, one conference, 12 historic institutions, one unforgettable journey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 1 of Around the SWAC. I'm Charles Porter, along with my main man, Ken Moore, and our engineer, Raymond G. Boom Holly. Welcome to the first trip around the SWAC for the 2026 sports calendar, sponsored by Lee Van Richardson, attorney at law, SCI Shopping Center Interests, Zilla Builder, Avis Budget Rent-A-Car. It's the most wonderful time of the year, Ken. It is football season, man. I'm excited.
Man, it doesn't feel like it outside because it's been over 100 degrees here in H-Town, and I'm sure across the South Western Athletic Conference, Baton Rouge, down in the Delta in Mississippi. I know it's hot. You're going to take a trip down there this week, but man, it's nothing like August when football is in the air, and we are ready to kick it off with a brand new show around the SWAC. And it's going to be a fun football season.
I think it's a football player thing. Because it's been so dry, you don't get that moisture in the morning on the grass 2 a day, getting up in the morning, smelling that fresh cut grass, getting ready to knock some heads, man. I tell you, it is the most wonderful time of the year. And then the Southwestern Athletic Conference is set up to have one of the best seasons that you've seen in a long time. There is a lot of parity amongst these teams. I mean, a lot of teams have improved. They've taken advantage of the portal. A lot of the coaches have gotten their systems in. Some of these coaches are getting a little more time to put together these teams, and they're doing a great job, man. It's going to be real fun this year.
It's going to be the season of the unknown, really, this year, Charles, because you got your defending champions coming back in Prairie View. You got Jackson State. Alabama State are going to be good. Those 3 teams are going to be right there. At least you expect them to be. But the other 9 have a lot of unknowns with them. Down in Southern, you got a brand new coach in Marshall Faulk, his first time as an HBCU head coach. So you got a lot of change in Florida A&M. They're undergoing a lot of change. Bethune-Cookman, one of the surprise teams last year, along with Texas Southern and Coach Chris Dishman. But a lot of unknown, and we'll get to know more after week 0 this Saturday coming up.
How incredible is it to be working week 0? We just want to thank the Southwestern Athletic Conference for giving us this opportunity to work week 0. Nobody's watching college football until tomorrow night when Mississippi Valley State takes on Nicholls State, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. August 14th, 2026, the very first Black college football poll was released, and it has taken America by storm. The Southwestern Athletic Conference, the premier FCS conference in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, along with the SIC, the CIAC, and the MEAC, all of those schools are polled to create Division I and Division II, the top 10 or the top 25 football teams across the country. The Black College Football poll announced its 2026 6 All-American teams also. So let's quickly go over that. Let's talk about the Black College Football Poll, Ken, and what it does for the Southwestern Athletic Conference and HBCU sports.
Well, what it does, it brings all the conferences together under one poll. So you don't just have the MEAC or the SEAC or the SWAC. You have all these schools under one poll, and you get a true ranking of where they fall in the college football landscape. And that becomes important when it's time for the FCS playoffs. If one of the teams does not, make it to the SWAC championship game in Atlanta, then they may still have the opportunity to make the FCS playoffs. So that's one of the important things about this Black College Football Poll being put together. So you got to give a lot of credit to the commissioners across the landscape for coming together and helping to develop this.
Well, let's throw up the poll, G-Boom, and let's look at the top schools here. South Carolina State gets the number 1 ranking out of the MEAC. Shanice Berry and his fierce fighting Bulldogs down there, man, I tell you, they've got a great team coming out of the MEAC. Of course, defeated Prairie View A&M University last year in the Celebration Bowl. They're number 2. Right on their heels are Prairie View A&M University, who plans to finish the fight. Jackson State's always going to be in it. Prairie View defeated Jackson State in the Southwestern Athletic Conference Championship last year. Andrew Body and the Alabama State Hornets, it's the Andrew Body Show. Couldn't wait to say that this year, are number 4. North Carolina Central, who will come here to Houston this weekend to take on Texas Southern, they're number 5. Number 6 is Delaware State. Grambling State University, Mickey Joseph and his guys are up in the ranking along with Coach Woody, Raymond Woody, and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Texas Southern made it. They're number 9 in the poll, and rounding it off at number 10 is Florida A&M. Man, what a great poll for these teams this year. They've got to be excited about it.
Yeah, you got a top 10 matchup right off the bat this weekend. North Carolina Central coming down to take on Texas Southern, as you mentioned, down here in Houston. So that's going to be a very good ball game. And, the funny thing about these polls is that you're going a lot off of last season, right? But the thing about it now, it's not like it was, say, even 5 years ago, because now you have so many new players coming in with the transfer portal. So these teams, they turn over so many players now each and every year. It is really hard to gauge where these teams are going to finish. You think about a team like the Southern Jaguars last year, who were predicted to finish high up in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and they finished the season at the bottom of the SWAC. So you just never know how it's going to turn out. It puts a lot of pressure on these coaches, put a lot of pressure on these players when they get these rankings. But hey, you want a little pressure. You want to live up to the rankings.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun, as we said in the opening. That is the top 10 preseason Black College Poll Division I, the very first ever, the inaugural poll. And it's just so great to be a part of that, and it's wonderful. Division II also had their top 10 G-Boom. If you can throw that one up there. Johnson C. Smith rounds out the number 1 ranking. I love you, G-Boom, boy, I tell you. From the CIAA, and Benedict coming in at number 2. Albany State, we'll see them this week here in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. They're coming in at number 3. Virginia Union's at 4. Kentucky State has a date here with the Southwestern Athletic Conference later on in the season. Fayette State is number 6. Virginia State coming in at number 7. Allen at 8. Edward Waters down at number 9. I'm pulling for Edward Waters. You know why, because Dooley's there. And at 10, coming in and rounding it off at the bottom, is Tuskegee from the SIAC. Some great teams, some great parity in their conference, in all of their conferences, I should say. And it's going to be a lot of fun watching football this year. Let's hop on over to the preseason players of the year for Division I and Division II. Well, I get to do it again? It's the Andrew Body Show.
Yes, sir.
Body, the offensive player of the year All-American first team. Man, this kid is fun to watch. I've been watching him since he came from Corpus Christi and went straight to Texas Southern. Man, this guy can really get it done, and he's healthy now. We saw him and interviewed him over in SWAC Media Day, and incidentally, want to thank everyone for watching this on SWAC Media Day. But man, this kid looks good. He's confident. He is ready to play some football. He wants to guide those Alabama State Hornets to prominence before he gets out of here. Arguably, this is his last year. He's not going to get any more after this, after 2 medical red shirts and all of this 5 for 5 craziness that's going on. He is right in the catbird seat. And man, I tell you, Eddie Robinson Jr. and those Hornets are going to be hard to handle. Defensively, Johnson C. Smith's linebacker, Vic, gets the nod for, wait a minute, let me see, Jordan Hicks. Is it Jordan Hicks? Jordan Franklin. I'm sorry, pardon me. Please forgive me. Jordan Franklin out of South Carolina State led the Bulldogs with a big presence last year. The Black College Football Poll Division I FCS voted. He had 21st place votes. He is a vicious linebacker. He's got great perception of the field. He's a leader on the team, great athlete, good human being. He's just a good guy. Can't tell by his hairstyle, but it's all over the place. Well, that's what he is. He's an all over the place linebacker, and congratulations also to him. The first and second team, we'll just go over the first team, G-Boom, for the preseason D1 all conference players, or preseason All-Americans. I'll just start reading it as you pull it up. Quarterbacks, Andrew Body, of course, of Alabama State. Chase Bingham and Trey Holly are the All-American running backs first team. Nate Rembert, who gets another year at Jackson State, is one of the wide receivers. The big wide receiver, Chance Peterson, out of North Carolina Central. We'll see some of him this week. Chris Dishon's got to be prepared for them. And then the big tight end, All-American, he's got to be one of the best tight ends in college football, Trevon Jones, down at Prairie View A&M University. Man, he can block, he can catch it. He's a beast, and he's a really, really smart player. Also plays special teams. On the offensive line, Alabama State's Elijah Baker gets the nod. Jackson State's Quavarian Davis, along with Prairie View's Calvin McMillan, James Reddick of South Carolina State, and his cohort, Moses Amarin of South Carolina State. Man, that's a great offensive line. On the defensive side, Prairie View inks in another one with Malik Gukake of Prairie View A&M. That defensive lineman, man, is just a terror around there. Joshua Baker, the big dude out of South Carolina State, along with his cohorts, as I say, all 3 first-team defensive All-American South Carolina State. They're going to be hard to handle. Moses Yamarin, James Riddick, let me back up. James Dollard of South Carolina State, Kavon Chisholm of South Carolina State, Joshua Baker, along with Gukake. Man, that is a mean line. That is kind of like the steel curtain if you look at those guys. And those are big guys. The linebackers, Jordan Franklin of South Carolina State, Isaiah Lawson of North Carolina Central, and Roderick Kelly, the edge rusher turned linebacker from South Carolina State. Roderick Kelly all make up the linebackers. And then in the secondary, you've got Prairie View, Southern, Jackson, and Alabama State written all over it. Eric Zachary of Prairie View, Cam Solis of Jackson State, and Herman Brewster of Southern. Incidentally, was the only person to get honors, first team or second team honors in the conference from that Southern defense. And Tayshawn Sims of Alabama State. That rounds it out. Abu Akil is the kicker from Alabama State. You know who the best return man is in football, in HBCU football, right? Right. Who would you call? Who would you say?
You go with it.
No, Jackson, either the Grambling guy or the Jackson guy, and he had Nate Rembert. Man, he can really do it. He's just an all-purpose athlete. He can catch the ball. He's a great receiver. He can get out into the open field and make you miss. We got a chance to see him in the SWAC championship. Didn't get off to a great start, man. Those Panthers in that drop 8, man, they were all over him like some sweat bees. And, man, I tell you, this is going to be a great season. Let's see, where are we? The return specialist, of course, is Jackson State's Nate Rembert, and the long snapper is Cole Hash of Bethune Cookman. That rounds out the first team, Division I All-Americans. Let's quickly run over here because we got to get on this train, man. G Boom. I thought I heard the train whistle over there. I don't know. I think we're gearing up over here. We better be careful. We better be careful. That train is up. Okay, Cyprian. Darius Cyprian is the offensive player of the year from Kentucky State. He is going to be playing on Sundays. This kid can really do it. He's fast in the open court. He's got some great hands. He can track the ball well. When we say track the ball, color commentator, what do you mean when we say track the ball? He can go and find it when it gets in the air, and he can get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got great hands. I had a chance to watch him last year when they played Grambling. I called that game the first game of the year last season in non-conference play. Tremendous athlete. Has the size, has the hands, has the speed as well to get open. So he's going to cause some problems for some Kentucky State opponents this year.
Jordan Franklin, the defensive guy, champion of the year, the defensive All-American of the year. I was trying to call him Jordan Hill, but it's Vincent Hill who is the Defensive Player of the Year in Division II. So I got to snap that. One of the strongest selections on the Black College Football Division II ballot, receiving 9 votes there for the defense. So congratulations to Kentucky State's wide receiver Darian Cyprian and the Defensive Division II Player of the Year All-American Vincent Hill of Johnson C. Smith. Quickly, the running backs, Jatorius Thomas of Edward Waters. You know Dooley's going to get some people that can run. And Bobby Smith of Johnson C. Smith. The quarterbacks are Sean Matthews of Virginia State. Man, he's 6'5". He's a big dude. He's a pocket passer, and he can get it done. Tight end is going to be Michael Bowen of Allen. He's about 6'3", and he can get it done. Great blocker. Can get in the open field and run when he catches the ball. Offensive lineman Jason Mason of Johnson C. Smith. Isaiah Richardson of Benedict. Robert Early of Johnson C. Smith, Jason Miller of Benedict, and his cohort, Isaiah Turner of Benedict, round out the offensive line. On the defensive side of the ball, Derek Drayton of Albany Snake. You're going to be calling his name. We'll see him this weekend in a Southwestern Athletic Conference CIAC matchup. He can play. You can see that. Joseph Woodard of Fayetteville State, Jaden Cleveland of Clark, Atlanta, Messiah Wells of Tuskegee. On the in the middle, the linebacking core, Vincent Hill of Johnson C. Smith, talked about him. Trevon French of Edward Waters, Jatavian Taylor of Fayetteville State, and in the back four, Jamarian Melendez of Virginia Union, Amari Best of Fayetteville State, Timon Tucker of Johnson C. Smith, and Lawrence McConnell. The kicker is Logan Kowacki of Benedict. And the return specialist is that speedster, the track star with, he says 4.3 speed. I don't know. I got to see it for myself. Xavier Jackson out of Clark, Atlanta. I haven't seen any 4.3 speed since yesteryear. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to round off the Black College Sports Poll. We are so excited to be a part of that. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Splendid Media on Splendid Media Resource platforms and YouTube. And check out our website at www.splendidmediaresourcecompany.com. It's time for us to get on our first trip around the SWAC. All aboard. Next stop. Yep. Come. Terrell Buckley in his second year is trying to get things turned around down in Itabena. 2-10 and 1-7 on the year, taking on the Colonel's Tim Raboy. 4-8 and 4-4 in conference. He was 4-1 last year on his home season. The defensive guy, Ken. This is going to be pretty interesting this year as Mississippi Valley gets to kick it off on the national stage.
Yeah, absolutely. They're looking for a bounce back season for Coach T Buck in his second year. Tried to lay the foundation last year. Tried to instill the type of program that he wants to have down there in Itabena. And I know you made quite a few trips down to Itabena last year, so you can probably speak on the team a little bit better than I. But from my analysis of this year, it's going to come down to a couple of things. Really, one thing in particular: how good can they be up front in the trenches on the offensive line and the defensive line? That's where Mississippi Valley has fallen short. Sometimes they've had the skill position first. They typically had good running backs, decent wideouts, good guys in the secondary, but it's the big guys up front that have to control that line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and that's typically where they fallen short the last couple of years. Now, the feather in their cap the last 2 years is that they have beat Florida A&M
2 years,
two years in a row. So they have to find a way to bottle up whatever energy, whatever synergy, whatever sage they do in the locker room before they play Florida A&M. They have to bring that same level of intensity and focus for 12 weeks, not just 1 or 2 weeks. You have to bottle it up every single week. And they get to start it on a national stage tomorrow night, Thursday night on ESPN platform of channels. I mean, you don't get any bigger assignment than that. So we're hoping T-Buck and his crew can handle business in 2026.
Yeah, most of all, he gets a lot of exposure. He gets people looking his way. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame defensive back, a Super Bowl champion. He has NFL pedigree. He knows what he's doing out there. He just needs some time. 2-10 overall last year, 1-7 in his first year. Ended the season on a high note, as you said, with a thriller, 35-31 over Florida A&M. Me and my guy James Merritt, who I'll see this weekend as we go to Auburn State, called that final game. What an exciting game. One of the most watched SWAC TV football games this year was that final game. It was right after Thanksgiving. Nobody had anything else to do. The Bayou Classic was out. Hey, let's watch this one. And to our chagrins, Valley pulls it off, which saw the end of the Jimmy Cozy tenure and year. And incidentally, congratulations to him. He's over as defensive coordinator at Ithaca. I saw that today. So congratulations to Coach Cozy bouncing back. But the change agent has left the building. And he said last year that he was coming in to be a change agent so that he can change the culture, that he can change the overall atmosphere of football at Mississippi Valley State. And I saw that. As a matter of fact, I actually requested to go to Valley because I like what I see. I like what they're doing there. He's got the buy-in of the university and these players. And he's going to have a good season. Josh Brown is back. They bring back Jordan Davis, who transferred over from Texas Southern. Defensively, they're going to be sound with Jalen White. He had 69 tackles last year. Jamar Stokes is back. You know, they get to play on the national stage again in the Chicago Classic on the 12th, against Lincoln College. Man, they've got a good and bright future. So I'm really, really, really excited for Coach T-Buck. There we go. Is that the train? All aboard, all the way passenger. Boarding the PC Express heading to Nashville, Tennessee. The Jacksonville Tigers hopped on a train of their own this weekend. Ken, G-Boom, you got to fade that off a little bit softer there, G-Boom. We got to get cool with that. In the form of a bus and a caravan of love to Vanderbilt Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee, to rekindle the John Merritt Classic, a 27-year rivalry honoring a legendary coach John Merritt, 2-year hiatus, hadn't played there since 2022, and the snafu with the promoters. Some say that the coaches might have had a say-so in it. I am not going to repeat that. At any rate, they were 2 years without the Classic, but now the excitement has been rekindled, and everybody, let's go to Nashville.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, Nashville's one of the hot spots right now across the country as far as events and big time events. The NFL draft was there a couple of years ago. They're going to have a Super Bowl there. The Titans are building a brand new stadium there. So Nashville is hot for football right now. And then, of course, you got Jackson State coming in against Tennessee State. Battle of the Tigers. Jackson State 9-3 last year, 7-1 in conference play. Won the SWAC East barely over Alabama State in that thrilling ball game towards the end of the year. And, of course, as we've already mentioned, lost to Prairie View in the championship game. But that they're going to be ready to play. They're always ready to play. They're always loaded. They're always deep. Ever since Coach Prime left, they've always had a deep roster. So they can go to that second team, third team if somebody goes down. They had a lot of injuries last year. And look, honestly, it was a surprise that they were able to finish as good as they did, considering the number of injuries that they had, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. So a lot of credit to those guys and that staff and the way they've helped develop those young men. It's been a next man up mentality for Jackson State, and they've always come to play, and that should be one heck of a football game this weekend between them and Tennessee State.
Jackson State last year, 9-3, 7-1. We watched it all the way to the championship. Tennessee State and Reggie Barlow's first year, 2-10 and 0-8 in conference play in the Ohio Valley Conference. He's got some building to do, but he's SWAC. He's an Alabama State Hornet. We know what type of pedigree he had. He's been all over the NFL, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we know he has football pedigree. He knows what it takes to build a winning program because he was part of it with Coach Rob down there in Alabama State, Houston Martin. So what he's going to have to do is control Nate Rembert and Jared Lockhart. Lockhart came back in, stepped in after the number one quarterback went out last year. They went out and they found a bevy of receivers. But you know what Jackson State likes to do. They want to run between the guard and tackles. Nate Rembert is the guy to do it.
Right, yeah, and last year they were the second-ranked offense in the SWAC, right behind Alabama State, averaging nearly 33 points per game. And they do it a variety of ways. They do it on the ground. They do it through the air. And they also got a top-ranked defense. They were number 2 in offense, number 2 in defense. So they do it on both sides of the ball, and that's what they're going to continue to do.
Reggie Barlow has got his hands full last year, finishing last in the conference. He's got a lot of transfers in. We really don't know what to see from the Tennessee. We tried to scout them and try to find out what's going on. They haven't even released their two deep depth charts, so we don't know what to understand. We got a couple of guys, returners from last year on the defense. Cedric Sellers, who's a pretty good defensive back. He had like 44 tackles last year, a couple of pass breaks up and 3 interceptions. So we look for him to anchor the defense, and they've got a pretty good running back room down there. Well, we're going to see what happens this weekend, but I got to give a nod to the Jackson State Tigers, man. They have come back in force. And let me just say this before we take our first fresh stop, and I'll tell you what that is. The Jackson State Tigers had 4 players who had committed to the NFL. And with this 5-for-5 rule, they decided to come back to Jackson. And then they changed the 5-for-5 rule again. And I understand there's been another change on the 5-for-5 rule. That's why we're going to leave that alone until next week. We're going to give them another week to try to figure out what they want to do before we start talking about it here on Around the SWAC. And then, folks, we'll let you know. We'll keep you informed of what's going on. Ken, do you know what a fresh stop is?
Tell me about it.
A fresh stop is when a train heads into a depot and gives the riders 15 to 20 minutes to get out, stretch their legs, get some fresh air, whatever they do, smoke, whatever, and get back on the train. So, folks, stick around. We're going to take a break and come back. When we come back, we'll hop back on the train and head on down the road around the SWAC. Stick around.
Splendid Media Resource Company is driven by Avis Rent-A-Car with 2 locations to serve you: 10,005 Highway 6 South in Sugar Land and 2811 West Grand Parkway North, Suite C in Katy. If you're in need of a rental vehicle, for whatever the reason, Avis Rent-A-Car can help you out. SUVs, large, midsize, and economy cars, 12 to 15 passenger vans, and even the luxury styles like the Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Infiniti. Independently owned by Sonia and Lisa Bell, proud HBCU graduates of Prairie View Indian University. Avis Rent-A-Car is open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. until 6 p.m., and Saturdays and Sundays from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. For more information, the number to the Highway 6 location is 281-498-2150, or in Katy at 346-608-7195. Avis Rent-A-Car, drive Splendid Media around the SWAC.
If you've been injured as a result of an accident, call 979-826-8008 now. We help victims with all types of personal injuries. Call 979-826-8008. We get paid when you get paid. You pay nothing up front. If you have a death case or injuries from a truck, motorcycle, or car accident, call 979-826-8008 now. Get the compensation that you deserve. Just call 979-826-8008 or go to lbrichardson.com.
When it comes to building your future, experience makes all the difference. For over 21 years, Zilla Construction LLC has been turning ideas into reality with quality craftsmanship and dependable service. Whether you need reconstruction, light commercial development, or residential construction, our experienced team delivers every project on time and on budget without compromising quality. For repairing and rebuilding to create the home or commercial space you've always envisioned, we're committed to excellence every step of the way. Don't trust your investment to just anyone. Trust a company with a proven record of success and a reputation built on integrity. Call Zilla Construction LLC today at 281-881-8306 or email k13peter@yahoo.com to schedule your consultation. Zilla Builders makes dreams come true. Let us build yours.
Welcome back to Around the SWAC, ladies and gentlemen, episode 126. We'd like to thank our sponsors again for all of they do for Splendid Media, and welcome Ken G. Boom, SCI Shopping Center Interest, who has come aboard, Clark East, who is a SDD, a super duper developer, has come back to be a part of Splendid Media. He is one of our legacy sponsors, one of the reasons that we got started. We want to thank him sincerely. We talked the other day about our groups, all of the groups that share our content. We want to sincerely thank you. And we share your content-related stuff also. Okay, so I want to thank our groups. This is just maybe 10 of the 40. I counted 40. So I'm just trying to get the names of the administrators and all that, making sure that they're sharing it. But the Prairie View Parent Facebook page, Black Educators, the Marlin Blue page, all of the Madison Marlin high school pages I'm a part of. So the Madison Marlin Nation is mighty, and that's how we get all of those views. I love you, Madison. We are Madison Marlins. Whoosh. Prairie View University and Friends, the Cambridge Village Reunion Group, Cambridge Village for Life, Panther Vision, the HBCU, MEAC, SWAC, CIA, and SIAC News. I met their administrator at the SWAC Media Day, and I didn't really realize that they shared all of our stuff because it doesn't come across my feed. But we want to thank them so much, man. They share a lot, and we've got a lot of SAIC schools that we're covering and CIAA schools we're covering this year, so that's going to be great. Networking and sport updates, that page, Roughing the SWAC and SWAC Sports Central. I think I messed around and we do a little catering business, and I accidentally hit, Roughing the SWAC while we were seasoning chicken. Somebody got on and did you approve this? I'm like, oh, wow. But if we get 3,000 views for just seasoning chickens, I'll take it.
Hey, get more chicken.
Get more chicken. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to roll. All right. Tag share all of our Tiger Station, Grambling, Louisiana, where we will see my main man Ken Moore this weekend as the Clark Atlanta Panthers come in to take on the Grambling State Tigers in Eddie Robinson Stadium. The Tigers 7-5 last year, finished 4-4 in the Western Division, tied for third. Head coach Mickey Joseph is entering in his third season, taking on Clark Atlanta coach Terry Sims. Ken, you cover Grambling State. I'm going to let you just take the road right now. The Grambling State Tigers are ready to play some football down there, and I can't wait. Blue Stowe, here we come.
Blue Stowe, here we come.
Not store.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't have an R on it. It's Stowe, S-T-O, the Blue Stowe with a chicken.
Yes, sir. No, man, it should be fun this weekend. It's always a good time going down to Grambling, hanging out at Shreveport the day before, and then getting over to the stadium. We got a Saturday night game, 6 o'clock, right here on SWAC TV. So make sure you download the SWAC TV app and make sure you log in at 6 p.m. for that ball game. And, of course, for Clark Atlanta, they're coming in with a new head coach, Terry Sims. Look, this is a team in Clark Atlanta that didn't have a coach for about 6 weeks, until they hired Coach Sims. And Coach Sims, of course, spent 7 years at Bethune-Cookman, took a couple of years off, spent last year at Alabama State as the assistant head coach under head coach Eddie Robinson Jr., and he was able to get the call and go back home. He's a Georgia kid, so he gets to go back home to Georgia and coach Clark Atlanta. But they're going to have their hands cut out for them against Grambling. This is a team in Grambling that expects to contend for a SWAC West championship. They finished the season strong last year at the end of the year. They looked really good. They had a lot of young players last year, a lot of freshmen and sophomores on their team. They returned about 62% of their players from last year, which is a relatively high number in this climate of transfer portal. Coach Mickey Joseph was able to keep a number of key players as well as bring in some players, some high school freshmen, and some guys into that transfer portal. They're going to be a very deep ball club. We don't know what we're going to see at quarterback. Coach Joseph always keeps that close to the vest. But I would look for a rotation probably in the quarterback situation. But it's always a team that plays an attacking style of defense. It's always a team that's going to spread the football around. And it's always a team that's going to try to run the ball in between the tackles as well. They're going to run some outside zone. That's what Grambling does. So I expect for the Tigers to have a pretty good year. They have to get off to a strong start. Last year, early on, they played Kentucky State. That was a game that went all the way down to the wire last year, early in non-conference play. They don't want to play with fire against a team that's hungry in Clark Atlanta. So I expect a good competitive ball game on Saturday night. But the Grambling Tigers, I expect them to have a really good season this year.
Yeah, this is year 3 for Mickey Joseph. I think last year he was in some really, really, really close games. I mean, but you go to Vegas and you you beat Jackson State in the inaugural Las Vegas Bowl. Hey, I tell you what, you might be able to get another year, and he did. But what they did was that they sat back and they said, "We believe in you. We're going to give you some time to get this team back to Grambling State football," and he's slowly doing it. You know, they had a short ball camp. They only had two days of actual contact in their fall camp, and that was a testament to getting all of those 62 guys that you talked about coming back to summer school. So they had a great nucleus over the summer. They did some bonding. They got a new offensive coordinator. Grambling State is on the rise. I look for them to contend for the West with Prairie View A&M University. You better watch it.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Look, man, they're going to be tough.
Well, folks, that's going to be a good one. We'll see my main man, Ken Moore, on Friday. He'll be somewhere popping up. That's one of the features that we'll be doing is Ken and I travel. We're traveling a lot. We're going to stop at places along our trip and go live and show you some fun. I got a surprise for you Friday. I'm going to one of my favorite places in the world. If you haven't been there, you need to put this on your bucket list. So hopefully Ms. Porter and I get there around 12 o'clock to Baton Rouge on Friday before we head on over to Vicksburg to get ready for Alcorn State this weekend against Miles College. Can't wait for that. We'll chat that up. I guess you know what? How about let's go now? Let's hop on the train and head on to Lorman, Mississippi.
All aboard the night train.
Panther Nation, join us for an unforgettable evening as Prairie View A&M University celebrates a tradition of excellence at the 2026 Prairie View A&M University Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony. On Friday, October 9th, 2026, at 7 o'clock p.m., the Memorial Student Center Ballroom on the campus of Prairie View A&M University will come alive as we honor the outstanding achievements of Panther student athletes, coaches, administrators, and dedicated supporters whose contributions have shaped the university's proud athletic legacy. Their accomplishments continue to inspire future generations of Panthers to pursue excellence in competition, in the classroom, and in life. Celebrate the legends, reconnect with fellow alumni and friends, and be a part of this special night honoring the rich tradition of Panther athletics. Reserve your tickets today at www.pvpanthers.com. The 2026 Prairie View A&M University Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony, celebrating the champions of yesterday, inspiring the leaders of tomorrow.
We're back live here in Grambling, Louisiana, getting ready to hop on the train and get on down the road. Folks, want to remind you the Prairie View Sports Hall of Fame. It's at 6:30. Not 7. It's at 6:30, but the spot was back at 30. So the fan, the drop-down box all the way on the right-hand side to the bottom, there is tickets for the Prairie View A&M Sports Hall of Fame. You can get your ticket.
Repeat that, Charles. You got kind of drowned out by the train a little bit. So say that again. Go over that again.
Okay, I apologize for that. Let me just remind you that the induction ceremony for the Prairie View A&M Sports Hall of Fame is at 6:30. Got the time wrong when we were in the production studio. I guess, hey, I'll take the blame for it. But the commercial was so good. I mean, it was just so smooth. My daughter worked so hard on it. We just said we tag it after we ran the spot. 6:30, October 9th. 6:30, October 9th. You can get your tickets right now by going to the Prairie View A&M University Athletics website at www.pvpanthers.com. Go down to tickets. Hit the drop-down box. It's either tickets or fans. I don't have my machine hooked up. But it's tickets or fans, either of those two. There's a drop-down box all the way on the right-hand side. When you drop that box down, it's going to say Hall of Fame. And then under Hall of Fame, it's going to say tickets. You can go ahead and purchase your tickets now. For those of you who are being inducted into the Hall of Fame, congratulations on this year. Get your folks to get your tickets now. Send those emails with your guest lists on there so that we can put you in those proper seats. Well, let's head down to the reservation here in Alcorn State. What? Wait a minute. Look over there in the bushes. G-Boom, are those Braves over there in those sticks? You get it? Braves in the sticks. We are in Lorman, Mississippi, where Alcorn State will take on the Golden Bears, G-Boom, of Alcorn State. Miles College in Jack Spinks Stadium, the Spinks Jinx. I get to go there this weekend. Cedric Thomas has been promising me barbecue for 2 years, so I'm gonna get there early and be looking for barbecue. But another thing that we're gonna be doing is going out in the tailgate area and getting some footage of the tailgaters, and that's gonna come down the road. We'll tell you about that a little bit later. But man, Cedric Thomas now getting year 3, doing a great job. Alcorn State last year finished 5-7 and 4-4 in Southwestern Athletic Conference play, tied with Grambling. Not with Grambling, but tied for 3rd place on the east side. The Golden Bears headed with Coach Chris Good were 3-8 and 3-5 in the SIC after winning the championship a couple of years prior to that. They had a great team, but they had to reload Ken, and they're going to have their hands full with Cedric Thomas. Man, I watched the Cedric Thomas show. Incidentally, you can catch that down with my main man, Charles Edmond, on 91.7 in Lorman, Mississippi. 91.7 in Lorman, Mississippi. The Charles Edmond Show and the Cedric Thomas Show. He's the host. I want to send a shout out to him and thank him for sending us all of that information today. But Cedric Thomas is really, really sitting in the catbird seat, and he's licking his chops.
Hey, man, I got to call a few of their games last year. I made that drive that you're about to make a couple of times last year. Fun drive, nice drive, good food, real good food down on the reservation. But this is a team that started off slow last year in 2025. The Vultures were circling a little bit, and but he was able to make some second half adjustments with his team, went to more of a spread offense, one back personnel, kind of a 10 personnel, 11 personnel look with one back in the backfield. That was able to spread teams out, and he's able to utilize that running game and those running lanes for his ball club. It'll be interesting to see if they keep that same philosophy this year coming into 2026, but they were able to win 4 of their final 5 ball games last year, one of the hottest teams in the SWAC. They were probably playing the best football in the SWAC at the end of the season. They lost to Jackson State in the season finale, but I look for Alcorn. They're right there in that bubble, right? They're right there in that bubble with Texas Southern and Grambling, that they think that they can take that step and be playing come November, that they'll be in the hunt for a championship.
Well, they think they're one game away from vying for championships. All they got to do is put it together. And as you said, they got hot in the last 5 games in the season. That was a thriller down in the Soul Bowl in Jackson, Mississippi. Man, I almost begged to come back to the reservation this year for the Soul Bowl because it's going to be hot here in Jackson. And here's a caveat to this. Alcorn State hadn't opened up on opening day since 2022. So they've been on the road the last 2 years, the first 2 weeks and 3 weeks of the season before they even played a home game. The reservation is on fire. Right, I can hear the drums from here because the tailgating, the students that are back on campus, you know, it's going to be a fun time. A lot of people are going to Jackson, but a lot of people not going to Jackson. They're going to be around the reservation. There's going to be barbecue pits everywhere, all in trees and ditches, in the back of the bayou, by the bathroom, everywhere. People are going to be having a great time. I am looking forward to going to Alcorn State in Lauren, Mississippi this weekend.
Yeah, it should be fun for you, buddy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, time to hop back on the train. All aboard. Next stop. Splendid Media presents the Southwestern Athletic Conference Hall of Fame Spotlight. John Wesley Harvey, affectionately known as Doc Harvey, was born in Houston's historic Third Ward on July 1st, 1944. From humble beginnings in a community defined by resilience and pride, he emerged as a pioneering athletic trainer, an advocate for diversity in healthcare, and a mentor whose quiet leadership changed countless lives. For more than 4 decades, from 1974 until his retirement in 2015, Doc Harvey served as the cornerstone of Texas Southern University athletics, overseeing athletic training services for 16 intercollegiate athletic teams. He transferred the athletic training room into more than a place of rehabilitation. It became a classroom where character, discipline, and excellence were developed. As a teacher, mentor, and healthcare professional, Doc Harvey inspired generations of athletic trainers, student athletes, and future leaders. His extraordinary legacy was forever recognized with his induction into the Southwestern Athletic Conference Hall of Fame in 2019. A life of healing hands, a rhythmic heart, and an unwavering commitment to service. John Wesley Doc Harvey in the Southwestern Athletic Conference Hall of Fame Spotlight. Welcome back to Alcorn Station, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you for returning. It is time to get back on the PC Express. Hit that video. Let's go to Birmingham, Alabama, to the back city. Folks, we are pulling into Hornet Station that has taken over the Magic City in Birmingham, Alabama, for the inaugural Birmingham Football Classic. But before you disembark from the train, don't forget to like, share, subscribe on all social media platforms at Splendid Media Resource and on YouTube. And of course, our webpage, Ken, that's being redesigned by Tamisa Ingram. And man, she's got some great ideas. It looks a little fuzzy right now, so go ahead and just take a glance at it. But September 1st, it should be up and running totally redesigned. We're excited about that. That's www.splendidmedia resource company. Well, we're in Birmingham, Alabama at Hornet Station, where the Southern University Jaguars, who last year were 2-10 on the season and 1-7 under Coach Graves, went out and inked in Marshall Faulk, the highest paid coach in black college football, and brought Marshall Faulk in, and they'll be taking on the red hot, can I do it? It's the Andrew Body Show, Alabama State Hornets, who were 10-2 and 7-1 last year, man. Coach Eddie Robinson's got a great team down there, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be tough over there in the East this year.
Man, this is going to be a very interesting matchup. ESPNU, 2:00 Central Time on Saturday afternoon. Inaugural Birmingham Classic, as we mentioned. Two guys that, if you told me in 1999 When I went to Atlanta for Super Bowl 34 to see the Titans and the Los Angeles Rams or St. Louis Rams, excuse me, at that time,
I hate you.
that Eddie Robinson Jr. and Marshall Faulk
Would be coach.
27 years later
Wow.
would be coaching against each other in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. You could have sold me for a penny. Those guys played in the Super Bowl against each other in 1999, or technically in January of 2000, the 1999 season. And now they've come full circle where they're coaching and developing young African-American men to go out and participate and coach against one another in the inaugural Birmingham Classic. You can't write a script any better than that.
You know, two, like you said, NFL greats going at it opening day in an opening inaugural classic, not far from their home territory. So, you know, they're pretty much right in the middle there. Southern's got to travel. They travel well, and they're excited about Marshall Faulk. There's no hotels in the Magic City right now. It's kind of like Tuskegee against the Magic City Classic against Alabama State. That's going to happen later on this year. They get to play on the big stage twice. Come back to that stadium twice at Legion Field. They're gonna really have a battle with these two teams, because I think people are going to sleep on Southern. I think Southern, the spirit of Lacumba is going to get in them, and they're going to play some good football. They're going to play for Marshall Faulk this year. They've got all American offensive preseason linemen. Andrew Body's playing in this game, and he's got a plethora of receivers. Last year, let me tell you about Andrew Body, man. We're just gonna ride on him for just a second. 700 yards on 85 carries, averaged 8.3 yards per carry, averaged 16 yards per toss, 264 yards per game was his average. He didn't even play the last 4 games. Prairie View was his Achilles heel. As a freshman at Texas Southern, Prairie View put him out the game. He missed a year, and then here he comes back to Prairie View. Last year, the Panthers put him out of the game, and they didn't play the last 4 games. But if he would have played those last 4 games, I did a little math there, 264 yards of average times 4 is 1,056, would have made him have 3,112 yards. He finished with 2,112. That's an extra 1,000. He still led the conference, didn't play the last 4 games, and still was SWAC Player of the Year.
Yeah, now he's been tremendous ever since his days as a freshman at Texas Southern. Used to cover him, when he was over there, when they were playing at the soccer stadium, and you could just see you wondered as a freshman, how did this kid not get recruited to a major university? He set all kinds of records in Corpus Christi in high school. Now, of course, for those Corpus Christi, they don't play in one of the big districts here in the state of Texas. Like if you're in Houston or Katy or Austin or Denton, they don't make a lot of noise when it comes to playoff times or anything like that. But he was a diamond in the rough down there in the valley in Corpus Christi, and Texas Southern was lucky to have him for a couple of years. And then, of course, he made the move over to Alabama State. The key for Andrew Body is just keeping that body healthy. That's been the only thing that has held him back throughout his collegiate career, is that he has been injury prone, but he is a tremendous athlete, tremendous arms. He can run with the football. Sometimes he puts his body in harm's way running too much. So he has to become a much smarter quarterback, not in the pocket. He's very intelligent as far as learning an offense. I'm talking about in self-protection, body protection. Yes, you have to preserve yourself. You can't go head first. You can't play every down like it's your last down. You have to be able to say, hey, I got to live for another play. We have bigger things to fry. We have a bigger goal in mind at Alabama State, and that's getting to Atlanta in the Celebration Bowl. The Celebration Bowl or bust for the Hornets. this season, and it all starts this week against Southern. Now you talk about the Jaguars. What do they have coming into this game? Well, we don't know. We haven't seen them. We don't know what to expect.
Like a Christmas present.
Exactly. You're like a box of chocolates. You're gonna open it up. You don't know what you're gonna get. So it's gonna be something new. It's gonna be something exciting. And look, it's gonna be some first game jitters for Coach Falk. We know that. He knows that. He's stepping into a brand new role. So don't expect the world, Jaguar Nation. It's gonna be a little bumpy. It's gonna be a little bumpy in the beginning, but give him time, be patient, be supportive, and your Jags will be back.
Well, offensively, they do have something. They've got Trey Holly in the backfield, transfer from LSU. He was Mr. Football in Louisiana about 3 years ago, so he can really get it done. And also, they've got Herman Boucher III, 55 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and an interception last year. He'll be coming back. And I guess that's G-Boom telling us we've got to get on the road, folks, here. Yes, so let's hop back on the train. Here's the whistle. All aboard to Tallahassee, Florida. In the new era of football, we just talked about Albany State. Well, they'll visit Florida A&M at Bragg Memorial Station on the Seven Hills. I don't know, G-Boom, I don't see no hills around here. The Seven Hills, everything is flat around here. What do you mean the Seven Hills? The city of Seven Hills will be on center stage as Albany State, who's got a good football team, comes in to take on first-year head coach Quinn Gray Sr., David Bowser, and the SIAC champs last year, 12-2 and 8-0. Man, let me tell you something. That's going to be a good game. And another opening day for a SWAC school as the Rattlers open up against the Albany State guys, man. It's going to be a tremendous game down there. But the Rattlers better bring some venom.
Yeah, it's another 6 o'clock game on SWAC TV down in Tallahassee. And, that is going to be a very interesting ball game. As you mentioned, new head coach Quinn Gray trying to get the Rattlers back on track as they try to get back to their standard of competing for a SWAC East title, but they're going up against Albany State. The Golden Rams, they were 8-0 in the SEAC last year, so they come in with a ton of confidence. They want to go in and say, hey, we can compete and we can beat one of the most high-profile teams in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. So, they're going to go into Tallahassee with a lot of confidence, a lot of bravado, and it'll be up to Coach Gray and his Rattlers to see what they can do with those Golden Rams.
Coach brings his quarterback from the Golden Bears with him, the starting quarterback. Gee whiz, I'm looking at my paper. I forgot where I put it. But he brings his starting quarterback who won the championship at Albany State with Quinn Gray to Florida A&M. And he's brought some transfers in there. They're trying to get back to Florida A&M prominence, and they're doing a good job of just getting the community to buy into it. Because, man, after the last couple of years, after that Valley game, man, there was a mass exodus. Everybody was upset. But I think the Florida A&M Rattlers have a chance, to start rebuilding right now. They've inked in some people, and they've really been beating up that transfer portal. So we look for the Rattlers to put up a fight on game one, and we'll see which way it goes at Bragg Memorial Stadium. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we should have tossed to break. We're going to take a break and run another spot here, folks, and then come back. When we do, we're going to head to Atlanta, Georgia. Stick around.
Splendid Media Resource Company is driven by Avis Rent-A-Car with 2 locations to serve you, 10,005 Highway 6 South in Sugar Land and 2811 West Grand Parkway North Suite C in Katy. If you're in need of a rental vehicle, for whatever the reason, Avis Rent-A-Car can help you out. SUVs, large, midsize, and economy cars, 12 to 15 passenger vans, and even the luxury styles like the Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Infiniti. Independently owned by Sonia and Lisa Bell, proud HBCU graduates of Prairie View Indian University. Avis Rent-A-Car is open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. until 6 p.m., and Saturdays and Sundays from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. For more information, the number to the Highway 6 location is 281-498-2150, or in Katy at 346-608-7195. Avis Rent-A-Car, drive Splendid Media around the SWAC.
If you've been injured as a result of an accident, call 979-826-8008 now. We help victims with all types of personal injuries. Call 979-826-8008. We get paid when you get paid. You pay nothing up front. If you have a death case or injuries from a truck, motorcycle, or car accident, call 979-826-8008 now. Get the compensation that you deserve. Just call 979-826-8008 or go to lbrichardson.com.
When it comes to building your future, experience makes all the difference. For over 21 years, Zilla Construction LLC has been turning ideas into reality with quality craftsmanship and dependable service. Whether you need reconstruction, light commercial development, or residential construction, our experienced team delivers every project on time and on budget without compromising quality. For repairing and rebuilding to create the home or commercial space you've always envisioned, we're committed to excellence every step of the way. Don't trust your investment to just anyone. Trust a company with a proven record of success and a reputation built on integrity. Call Zilla Construction LLC today at 281-881-8306 or email k13peter@yahoo.com to schedule your consultation. Zilla Builders makes dreams come true. Let us build yours. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the PC Express is back on the road, and we've got to hurry up and get around here. We are running out of time, Ken Moore, so we're going to pick it up a little bit. Alabama A&M University, I guess is the question, can the Bulldogs bite the Bison and try to come up with a win? The Alabama A&M Bulldogs 4-8, 1-7. Under second-year head coach Sam Shea will take on the Howard Bison, 5-7. And overall, 2-3 in the MEAC under head coach Larry Scott. That should be a good game in the SWAC MEAC Challenge. It has been popular over the last couple of years, and I think, man, that's going to be a real good one. It's going to be on national television. A lot of people are going to be watching that one, so we're excited about that one. Let's put the theme music here in the background. The University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff will take on Morehouse College this weekend in Little Rock, Arkansas. It is the Natural State Kickoff Classic, Ken. That one's going to be fun.
Yeah, that'll be 6 o'clock on SWAC TV. Pine Bluff and Morehouse College. Two good ball clubs. That should be a good one in Little Rock.
All right, let's hop on Travelers going to Houston, Texas. Welcome back, friends. The Tigers of Texas Southern University and Tiger Station will be taking on North Carolina Central in another showdown. We're getting all the way around here. North Carolina Central Eagles under the direction of Coach Trey Oliver, Chris Fishman. Last year, one of the hottest teams, 6-5. In conference play and 5-3 in the West. Ken, The Tigers are a sleeper. You better watch it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think this has the making to be one of the best ball games this weekend. The game will be at Thorne Stadium, which is in North Houston. People say, "Oh, it's a high school stadium." It's
No, it ain't.
one of the best high school stadiums in the city of Houston, if not the state of Texas. Thorne Stadium is remarkable. I did a playoff game there last year for high school football. I used to play high school football there when I was at Forest Brook, and we used to play the Aldine schools at the old Thorne Stadium. This is the new Thorne Stadium. Thorne
New
2.0.
improved.
Thorne 2.0. So, hey.
With the $80 million Thorne Stadium.
And I think it's going to be really, Charles, honestly, I think it's going to be a lot better atmosphere than the Dynamo Stadium because it's a lot more intimate. So if the fans come and show out and show up and support their ball club, I think they can really give TSU a home field advantage. Yeah, it's 15, 20 miles away from campus, but I'm sure they're going to have transportation, hopefully, for the kids to get over there. And if they can get over there and show out, I think Tigers are going to have a real good year this year playing at Thorne.
Wow, and I think I've got Mississippi Valley, Texas Southern down in Thorne Stadium a little bit later on in the year. That's October 10th. I get a chance to see TSU. I see Valley 3 times. I told Coach Buckley, I made a reference and got in a little trouble. I said, I'm like Tremaine Jackson. I have residence in Ida Bena like he has residence, he thinks. I said, he thinks in Atlanta, Georgia. So, wow, that was a lot of fun. Also, now let's head on to our final contest, our final trip. We're going to head up to Tarleton State, Stephenville, Texas, where the SWAC defending champions will take on Tarleton State. And Tarleton State is no slouch. Tarleton State's got a great football team. I think they might have went to the championship last year.
You think?
Wow, these. And I dropped my notes. Just that's what I get. But
yeah,
man,
you got nervous. You're nervous already.
Man, look, I'm trying to tell you, it's going to be a tough game. The Panther Nation is going to hop on the train and head down there. You know, they've got some great players coming back. Malik Gukake, who's all conference over there. They've got a plethora of receivers. Several receivers have returned. I'm trying to find my notes here. Several receivers have returned, and they've got a great program down there. It's really structured at Prairie View. If you go and see Coach Tremaine Jackson really has those guys ready to play, man, and they're confident. They expect to win. This is nothing new to them, and they expect to play 14 games. Everybody else plays 12, but he says he expects to play 14 games. So Tremaine Jackson and the the Prairie View A&M University Panthers are heading to Stephenville, and that's a late game at 8 o'clock. So they're going to make some adjustments there. But you'll get to see the Prairie View Panthers. I think is that one on ESPNU or 2?
I didn't have the football list, the television list.
I thought it was 2. I think it's 2. It'll be televised. You can find it, folks. And we'll preview it on Saturday as we do our Splendid Media Game Day updates. That's right. You can get Splendid Media Game updates on Saturdays before the game around 12 o'clock, wherever we are. We're going to come on and tell you what's going on, set the stage and the atmosphere where we're at. And it's a lot of fun there. So we want to thank everybody who helped put this together. We are still trying to work out some kinks here. But for the most part, we thank you for watching. I think we've had a decent show. It's going to get better and better and better. That's going to wrap it up for us here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on the first episode of Around the SWAC. We went way over today, Ken. We're going to have to speed it up. We went way over today. But we're going to keep it short and sweet. And we hope that you join us every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Splendid Media Resource. Okay? Keep your head in the air, your nose to the grindstone. God bless you. God keep you. We'll see you next time.
Peace out.